Hello, and welcome to DanPlays. I haven't done one of these in a little while, so I figured I'd do something fairly quick to get back into it with. Probably next time I'll do a Halloween video. I was thinking maybe one thing starring Poltergeist on Genesis would be a fun one for Halloween. But this time I have Master Chu and the Drunkard Who, which is a game that is best remembered, and I would say probably at this point really only remembered for being the subject of an early Angry Video Game Nerd video, the episode that, of course, introduced us to that beloved character, Shit Pickle. Um, but yeah, that's kind of what this is remembered for today. I will say Master Chu and the Drunkard Who is probably one of the best video game titles of all time, certainly for my money. Um, and of course, as the nerd said, there's really only one reason to buy this game, and that's so you can say, I own Master Chu and the Drunkard Who, so people can awkwardly stare at you. So this is 1989, as you can see on the title screen, developed by Joy Van, released by the infamous Color Dreams. Joy Van is actually an imprint of Sachin. Yeah, Stabby's with me too, as you probably noticed. Anyway, Sachin was a Taiwanese company. What do you think? You're a parrot? Sit on my shoulder if you want. You're small enough. Yeah, Sachin, Taiwanese, I believe. They were a developer of primarily kind of low quality games. A lot of their stuff never came out in the US, and what little did was on like the company was published under companies like Color Dreams or American Video Entertainment. I believe they did the Little Red Hood, I think Australia only release Little Red Hood as well. But yeah, that's Joy Van or Station. Not a great track record as a company. Color Dreams, of course, kind of an infamous U.S. publisher of unlicensed games, most of which were pretty terrible. And of course, they had the distinctive powder blue cartridges, which not all of their games had. Some of them came in the powder blue, some of them had the same cartridge shell shape, but were just black. Um, my copy of Master Chu does happen to be a blue one, but I believe it did come in black as well, and I think the same goes for all of them. I think I have a couple that are black. I don't remember the titles offhand. I was gonna say Deathbox, but that was American Video, I believe. Um, I do have Captain Comic in a blue cartridge. I know that for sure. Color Dreams, of course, also famously had at least two spin-off labels. One was Bunch Games, which was apparently intended by Color Dreams to be the publisher for even worse quality games than what they put out on Color Dreams, but I believe Tag and Dragon was on the Bunch label. And then the other spin-off was most famously Wisdom Tree, the religious game publisher, Wisdom Tree, which I believe still exists. Long past the original parent company at this point. And of course, Wisdom Tree did stuff like Bible Adventures, Spiritual Warfare, which was like a religious Zelda 1 clone, um, which is kind of by default the best of the Wisdom Tree games for whatever that's worth. And maybe most interestingly, Wisdom Tree did Super 3D Noah's Ark, which was the only unlicensed Super Nintendo game released in the US. And it was also interesting because it was basically just a reskin of Wolfenstein 3D that just replaced the Nazi soldiers with apparently goats. Because, instead of two of every animal, Noah filled the ark according to this game just with a whole bunch of goats. But yeah, anyway, that's kind of the history of Color Dreams. Now, this game, I actually, believe it or not, I have played through this thing before, and compared to most of the games that Color Dreams put out, whether they were made in-house by them or in this case, like in this case, published on behalf of another developer, compared to most of them, this one I don't remember being all that bad. I wouldn't necessarily say, from what I recall, that it was a good game or a lost gem or anything like that, but it's at least playable, which is more than you can say for a lot of the stuff Color Dreams put out. Uh, and I don't recall it being very long either, so I figured that would be a good one to jump back into DanPlays. So with all that being said, we're 5 minutes in almost, so I think it's time to hit start on this thing. All right. So this is one of the games where A shoots and up jumps. So just right off the bat, you have to get used to that. You can push B that does like a defensive move where you hold up your fan, and I think the player 2 character holds up their knife. Um, but it does the same thing. The biggest issue is that the enemies don't have like a flash or anything that like shows that they're registering damage. Your character does, at least, but the enemies don't. You just kind of have to take it on faith that you're actually scoring hits on them. But the basic story, as I recall, is basically that the Hindu god Shiva has like flooded the world with evil, and Master Chu is player one, the drunkard who is player two. Apparently, Master Who um, became so despondent because of all the evil in the world that he became a drunk. But oh, and I just died. But he can still get into the action with the two-player game, and it's two-player simultaneously. You could actually have some fun with this two-player, I would think. I've never played it two-player. Um, but yeah, basically for each board, the end goal was to find 8 yin-yang symbols, and that works into the boss. The first boss is this tree stump thing, which kind of reminds me of the 50s movie From Hell It Came. There was one period review of From Hell It Came. The monster was a walking tree stump in that. Oh, I died again. Yeah, there was one review of From Hell It Came. It's walking tree stump monster movie. Uh, which just said the review was again 3 words. Send it back. So yeah, that's what that boss kind of reminds me of. So do I have to kill this other spider? I'm supposed to get the flaming key of freedom. That's what the manual calls it when you kill the boss. Oh, I guess you just have to shoot it. That's kind of the thing. Like most of the yin yang symbols in the levels are hidden, so you have to like keep shooting around to find them. I guess the flaming key of freedom that ends the level is the same deal. Like there is one up here. Blue one is just decoration. There. There's different power-ups as well. Most of those you find by just kind of shooting around as well. That thing I just picked up, I believe, just increases speed. Roll might give you, yeah, that gives you like a double shot. And you can actually upgrade that at least twice to a triple shot. Okay, so there's the last yin yang for this board. Oh, and it's fading. I guess I have to find it again. The necklace gives you like temporary invincibility, so this has some depth to it. Like it has a lot of power-ups stuff. There's also one called the Living Ginseng, which is like your full life restore. The bosses, once you get into a rhythm, the bosses mostly are not that hard. You just have to get your timing down to avoid their shots. Oh, they disappears too. There it is. I managed to die while getting the flaming key of freedom, but One big issue is that you can't jump down from ledges, which I feel like this game would have benefited from. You have to just walk to the end and that was the living gins thing I just picked up, which like it's actually a power up that walks around, but that does fully refill your health, which I kind of needed at that point. It does get confusing because there's like yin yangs in the background that are just decoration, basically. Lightning bolts randomly coming out of the walls. That's great. I think there's only four, like 5 or 6 levels, maybe 7 levels. Then there's like a boss rush, and then the final boss. Ah. I picked up invincibility necklace incidentally. That's what that annoying ringing sound was. Alright, so I'm looking for 2 yin-yangs that are not the ones in the background. Oh, there's one. As I get killed by the lightning. There it goes. Alright. I don't remember if you have limited continues or not. It might be unlimited. Oh, you can actually, I knew you could actually, hit these things so they stop shooting fire. A lot of the, like, hazards like that, I guess it's steam coming out of a cauldron there, you can't really avoid that. Like, there's just not enough room to completely dodge it if you try to jump over. You lose your double or triple shots just from taking a hit. Then, of course, the enemies respawn. Alright, one more yin thing. Up there. Oh, that's life refill. Alright, so I missed that yin yang, so I can find another one. Oh, there we go. And stump again. Nope. So yeah, a couple things to improve this game because this is playable. Like you get, there's the bones of a good game here. But yeah, get a little bit more feedback for when you take hits and for when enemies take hits. Um, improve the like the width of some of the hazards and things like that. What else could you do? You gotta score. You know, we're fighting a lot of enemies here, but you're not actually really getting anything for them. So, you know, if you just had a score, I think that would go a waste. Getting a little bit more of a fun value, you know, you fight it, try to beat your high score and all of that. Um, fix the controls too. It's up for jump. That's never really a good idea, other than like you know Street Fighter 2 style fighting games, platformers that never really works. I know you would on the NES, you have to sacrifice your defensive move, but that doesn't really seem to do much of anything anyway. So I don't think that would be a big plus. So yeah, just to have A, B jump, B shoot. It's like above the fire. Alright, so one more on this level. And I know I'm taking hits and stuff. Ah. So yeah, this is not going to be a clean run. I haven't played this in probably 10 years or more. But kind of show you the game if you haven't seen the whole thing. Do you need to see the whole thing? I don't know. But I mean, you know, one level and you kind of get the idea. And the necklace is good because that invincibility with the terrible sound effect, but still. That was actually probably just the delivery of it was probably my favorite line of the AVGN episode for this. Now let's talk about the sound. It sucks. I just walked right through fire there. Ooh, one more. Yeah, I do think there's again like there's the bones of a decent game here. not quite there. It's not fully cooked, but especially compared to most of what Color Dreams put out. I mean, this like I would say it's among the better Color Dreams games, which is saying absolutely nothing, but still. Come on, go up. Maybe make it so that you don't like walk all the way to the left side of the screen to walk left. Kind of keep the character centered. That would be helpful. There we go. Okay, just come over to this side of the screen. Yeah, I remember this boss being like, wait till he turns around, jump down, hit him from behind, and then jump back up. That's always fun when you've already beaten the boss, but you have to still find something to get out of the boss room, and you end up dying then. Claiming he has freedom. One right on top of the bookshelf there, that's helpful. There's a lot of crap in this room shooting at you. Spiders. Ah, those things with all of those shots coming out of them, those kind of remind me of those like sprinkler enemies in Journey to Silius, which is a game I want to do on here sometime too. I'll do that one after Halloween. And I'd like to do Final Fantasy VII at some point. I guess the next long form DanPlays. I do kind of have a hankering to play that at some point. I'm playing right now. I'm playing Final Fantasy Tactics, the Ivalice Chronicles, the like I guess you call it a remaster that just came out. Yeah, I just fight with Ygraph or Wheatgrass, I guess. That's funny, like because it's fully voice acted, so it's always funny to find. They have been mispronouncing a character's name for like 30 years. Um, yeah, I guess it is Wheatgrass. I'll ever get used to that. But anyway, the one where you have to like fight him one on one with Ramza, and then he turns into Goliath, and you get your full team, but it's even harder. um, but yeah, I had like lost badly on that one, and then came back to it after like grinding for a while, and like just destroyed him. I had Ramza the second time I had him with like dual wield and two swords, and he had the martial arts ability from the monk, you bastard monk. So he had that as his secondary skill. And I had him with a lot of potion too, the one-on-one part. So I basically the one-on-one part I just like ran around the room using the tailwind ability to increase his speed. So he was getting like 2 or 3 turns in a row. And even when I got to Malias, like Ducati demon form, I got like 3 turns in a row to start, and on Ramza, and then I think my monk he moved to like start casting his summon spell. So my monk got a hit with Aura or whatever Aura is in that one, in the martial arts skill set. Um, and then Ramsey got another turn and did another like attack with dual wield, and that was it. And Demon Form didn't get a single move off. So that was pretty satisfying, like, to get destroyed and then go and get good and come back and just mop the floor with the boss fighter. That's like by wide reputation, that's one of the hardest battles in Final Fantasy Tactics. Like famously, it was like a choke point where you could basically get stuck and have to restart because like the save, you won't keep a multiple saves at different locations. Um, they changed that in the Iblis Chronicles, so you can actually back out to the world map between the multi-stage fights. You lose your progress, but you don't like completely stuck like you did in the PlayStation 1 version. The part I really love is that they increased the roster limit from 16 on the PlayStation version to 50 on the Iblis Chronicles. I know they already increased it to, I think, 24 for War of the Lions, which was the version on PSP, and I think that's the version that was on like iOS and stuff like that too. So it already increased it from 24 to, or rather to 24 from 16. But yeah, having 50 slots is pretty nice because I could actually have all the story characters, and still have enough room for like any generic characters I want and monsters. I always have a mind player named Squiddy on my team. Um, but yeah, some of the like main story characters I've never really even had a chance to use because your roster limit was so tight that you could either like fire your generic characters that you spent the whole game building up, or you can skip recruiting some of them. So like Rafa and Malik, uh, I never really got a chance to use at all because there just wasn't room for them on the roster. So now I can actually have everybody with the increased roster limit. I don't know if I'm even gonna use all 50 slots, but yeah, I have a good number of like generic characters. I only have a few monsters. I have Squiddy, the Mind Flayer, and I have the Boko, the Chocobo you rescue in Chapter 1, and oh, he laid an egg for a black Chocobo at one point. I mean, he's done that several times. One of the black Chocobos I kept, so I have that. Sport is really stingy with the eggs. I don't know if I'm going to play the whole thing of this. I think I'm getting to having had enough at this point. uh, yeah, if I get game over again before getting to the next stage, I think I'm going to call it. But, we took a look at it anyway. To look at Master CHU and the Drunkard Who. There's one more. We can get one more. It does have a little bit of that, like, Mylon's secret castle thing, where you have to shoot around to find all the hidden items. Common gameplay style in the NES era. Not necessarily the most fun. The music isn't even really that bad, but it does get old. It's very repetitive. Alright, I guess I'm out of continues anyway. I guess it does have a hard limit of continues. So, yeah, I think I'm gonna call it there. So we didn't get to the end. That's all right. We got a good sense of Master CHU and the Drunkard Who anyway. Um, I think about a half hour. That's more than enough. So, yeah, I'll call it there. Does this? Oh yeah, let's go back to the title screen. Um, yeah, like I said, it's not the worst unlicensed game. Frankly, compared to most unlicensed games, it's actually pretty good, comparatively speaking. Is it a good game? No. But it's one of those. It's kind of like a long time ago I did Motor City Patrol, the Matchbox game, which is not a good game. It's extremely repetitive, but it has good ideas, so there's the bones of a good game there. And I think that's the case for this one. With a few tweaks, I think this could have been actually a pretty good game. Um, Even as it is, I would say it's at least more interesting. The gameplay is more interesting than Motor City Patrol. It's not nearly as repetitive. It is repetitive, but it's not quite that bad, and it's a little more. There's more action to it at least. I could also see this. I've never played this two-player. I've never convinced anyone to play this with me, but I imagine just by virtue of how this kind of game goes, I think it will be fun. It is like a two-player simultaneous co-op mode. Um, Someday I'll have to play Master Chu and the Drunkard Who with somebody who wants to play it. But anyway, I have beaten it before years and years ago, but didn't beat it this time. But I don't think I'm gonna lose sleep for that. So anyway, that's DanPlays. I'll be back with another game, hopefully before Halloween, because I would like to do a Halloween episode. And again, I kind of penciled in one thing starring Polter Guy on Genesis. I'll probably play that on my own at some point before recording it, just to refamiliarize with myself with that one. And I don't know if I'll play through all of that. Actually, another possibility would be The Uninvited on NES, because I've done the other two Max Venture games. Hmm. Maybe I should do Uninvited instead. Or maybe I'll do them both. Maybe I'll do them both for Halloween. Who knows? Yeah, now that I think about it, just to complete the set of the three Max Ventures on NES, maybe I should do Uninvited for Halloween, because that is the Haunted House one. Um, I'll think about it anyway. One of those two. Maybe I'll do the other one, whichever I don't do for Halloween. Maybe I'll do two anyway. So that's what I have. Thanks for watching. Hit like, hit subscribe, ring the bell. I'll be back with something else soon. I actually have a drink review that I would like to record momentarily, so you may even see that before you see this, depending on when I get this posted to YouTube. But I'm sure the drink review would upload more quickly, so you might actually have seen that already by the time you're seeing this. Anyway, I'll be back with something. So, have a good night. See you later.